Imagine standing in front of a city so magnificent that even the conquerors who came to destroy it could hardly believe it existed. A city built on the surface of a lake, connected by massive stone causeways, filled with towering temples, bustling markets, and hundreds of thousands of people. When the Spanish first laid eyes on it in 1519, they believed they had discovered one of the greatest cities on earth. This was Tenochtitlan, the heart of the mighty Aztec Empire. Welcome to History Uncovered. Long before the arrival of Europeans, central Mexico was home to many civilizations, but none would rise to power as quickly or as dramatically as the Aztecs. According to Aztec tradition, their ancestors wandered for generations in search of a promised land. Their priests had been given a prophecy. They would build their city where they saw an eagle perched on a cactus, holding a serpent in its beak. After years of searching, they finally witnessed that extraordinary sight on a small island in Lake Texcoco. There, in 1325, they founded the city of Tenochtitlan. At first, the island offered little more than marshes and shallow water, but the Aztecs refused to give up. They engineered canals, built bridges, and created floating gardens known as chinampas. These fertile gardens produced enough crops to feed a rapidly growing population. Over the next 2 centuries, Tenochtitlan transformed into one of the largest and most advanced cities in the world. Its streets were clean. Its canals carried countless canoes filled with food and goods. Its markets attracted thousands of traders every single day. The famous marketplace of Tlatelolco amazed visitors with its size and organization. Merchants sold cacao beans, colorful feathers, fine cloth, pottery, gold ornaments, obsidian weapons, fresh fruits, spices, and exotic animals from distant lands. Trade became the lifeblood of the empire. As the city prospered, the Aztecs also built one of the most powerful military forces in Mesoamerica. Young boys were trained from childhood to become disciplined warriors. Capturing enemies alive was considered a greater honor than simply defeating them in battle. Victorious soldiers earned wealth, respect, and the chance to rise through the ranks of society. War was not only about expanding territory, it was also deeply connected to Aztec religion. The empire worshipped many gods, but one of the most important was Huitzilopochtli, the god of the sun and war. The Aztecs believed the sun needed strength to continue its daily journey across the sky. To honor their gods, they held grand religious ceremonies at the towering Templo Mayor, the great temple that stood at the center of Tenochtitlan. Despite popular myths, the Aztec civilization was far more than warfare and religion. They developed a sophisticated calendar, advanced engineering techniques, impressive architecture, and a highly organized system of government. Their rulers collected tribute from neighboring regions, creating an empire that stretched across much of central Mexico. Villages under Aztec rule supplied food, textiles, precious stones, and valuable goods to the capital, making Tenochtitlan one of the richest cities of its time. By the early 16th century, the Aztec Empire had reached the height of its power. Its armies were feared. Its capital was unmatched. And its emperor ruled over millions of people. But beyond the eastern horizon, strange ships were approaching the coast. They carried men with steel weapons, horses, and firearms, things the Aztecs had never seen before. Their arrival would change history forever. In the spring of 1519, strange ships appeared along the eastern coast of Mexico. Leading them was the Spanish conquistador Hernán Cortés, accompanied by only a few hundred soldiers. Compared to the millions living under Aztec rule, the Spanish force seemed insignificant. Yet they possessed something the Aztecs had never encountered before: steel swords, firearms, cannons, horses, and powerful alliances with tribes that opposed Aztec rule. News of these mysterious visitors quickly reached Emperor Moctezuma II. No one knew whether these strangers came as peaceful guests or dangerous invaders. To avoid immediate conflict, Moctezuma sent valuable gifts of gold, precious jewelry, and fine clothing. But instead of satisfying the Spaniards, the treasure only fueled their ambition. As Cortés marched toward Tenochtitlan, thousands of warriors from rival indigenous city-states joined his army. Many had long resented Aztec domination and saw the Spanish as an opportunity to overthrow the empire. When Cortés finally entered the magnificent capital, he was stunned. Wide causeways stretched across the lake. Canals carried hundreds of canoes through the city. Massive temples rose above crowded marketplaces. Later, Spanish accounts described Tenochtitlan as one of the most extraordinary cities they had ever seen. For a short time, the two sides coexisted in uneasy peace. But that peace did not last. Tensions grew rapidly, and violence soon erupted. The Spanish seized Moctezuma, hoping to control the empire through its emperor. Instead, the city exploded into rebellion. Street battles broke out across Tenochtitlan. The Spanish were forced to flee during a desperate nighttime escape, suffering heavy losses as Aztec warriors attacked from the bridges and canals. Yet the conflict was far from over. Cortés returned with thousands of allied warriors. This time, he surrounded the city and began a long and devastating siege. The causeways were cut. Food supplies disappeared. Fresh water became scarce. At the same time, another invisible enemy spread through the population. Smallpox, a disease brought from Europe, swept across the Aztec Empire. With no natural immunity, countless people died, including experienced warriors and leaders. The epidemic weakened the empire just as the final battle began. After months of fierce fighting, hunger, and disease, Tenochtitlan fell in 1521. The once great capital was left in ruins. The Spanish later built Mexico City on its foundations, forever changing the history of the region. Although the Aztec Empire came to an end, its story did not disappear. Its language, Nahuatl, is still spoken today by many communities. Many modern Mexican traditions, foods, and place names trace their origins back to the Aztecs. Archaeologists continue to uncover temples, sculptures, and artifacts buried beneath modern streets, revealing new details about this remarkable civilization. The rise and fall of the Aztec Empire remains one of history's most extraordinary stories. It was a civilization that transformed a small island into one of the world's greatest cities, built an empire through innovation and determination, and left a legacy that still shapes Mexico today. History reminds us that even the most powerful empires can fall. But their achievements, their culture, and their stories can survive for centuries. Thank you for watching History Uncovered. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more incredible stories from history. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep uncovering history.